Ex-Google insider predicts AI's biggest shift in 2026. You'll own your own intelligence. Former Google engineer Jack O'Brien says the future of AI isn't bigger models. It's AI that lives on your laptop and smartphone. For the past 3 years, the AI race has been dominated by companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, and Meta. The prevailing belief has been simple. The most powerful AI requires enormous cloud data centers, billions of dollars in GPUs, and expensive monthly subscriptions. But Jack O'Brien, former Google search engineer and co-founder of AI startup Subconscious, believes the industry is heading in a completely different direction. According to O'Brien, 2026 could become the year AI shifts from rented intelligence to owned intelligence, where users run advanced AI models directly on their personal devices rather than relying entirely on cloud services. A PhD in your pocket. O'Brien describes this vision with a memorable phrase: "You'll have a PhD in your pocket." Instead of paying $20 to $200 every month for AI subscriptions, future users could download powerful language models onto their laptops, desktops, or smartphones. These personal AI assistants would work offline, never go offline because of server outages, remember user preferences, permanently protect sensitive personal data, eliminate recurring subscription costs, deliver near-instant responses without cloud latency. In O'Brien's view, every individual will eventually own their own intelligence, much like owning a smartphone today, rather than renting access to someone else's AI infrastructure. Small models are catching up faster than expected. Perhaps O'Brien's boldest prediction is that the AI industry has reached an unexpected inflection point much earlier than anticipated. He originally believed small AI models wouldn't rival today's frontier systems until the end of 2026. Instead, he says that moment has already arrived. Recent open-source releases, including Alibaba's Qwen family of models, have dramatically improved reasoning, coding, research, and conversational abilities while remaining compact enough to run on consumer hardware. Some models containing only tens of billions of parameters can now perform surprisingly close to trillion-parameter cloud models for everyday work. 95% of AI work doesn't need giant models. One of O'Brien's most striking claims is that around 95% of economically valuable AI work can already be handled by smaller open-source models. That includes software development, lesson planning, business research, sales, marketing, document analysis, customer support, writing, coding assistance. While frontier models from OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google will continue pushing scientific discovery, biology, chemistry, and advanced reasoning, O'Brien believes most consumers simply don't need that level of computational power every day. AI agents will replace chatbots. O'Brien argues that the industry's next major breakthrough won't be another chatbot. Instead, the future belongs to AI agents capable of handling long-running, multi-step tasks with minimal human intervention. Unlike today's assistants that answer one prompt at a time, future AI agents could conduct deep research, write and debug software, manage business workflows, coordinate calendars and meetings, interact with browsers and enterprise software, execute complex tasks over hours instead of seconds. This is precisely the problem Subconscious is trying to solve by developing inference systems optimized for long context reasoning and agentic workloads. Why Apple could become one of AI's biggest winners. Although Apple has often been criticized for moving slowly in generative AI, O'Brien believes the company is playing a much longer game. Rather than competing directly with OpenAI on massive cloud models, Apple has focused heavily on on-device AI, aligning with its long-standing emphasis on privacy and hardware integration. According to O'Brien, this strategy could make Apple one of the biggest AI winners because users will increasingly value intelligence that runs locally on iPhones, Macs, and future Apple devices instead of constantly relying on remote servers. The future isn't one AI company. Another major takeaway from the interview is O'Brien's belief that AI won't be dominated by a single company. Instead, he expects frontier labs such as OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google to continue leading cutting-edge research, thousands of open-source models powering specialized applications, companies differentiating themselves through AI products, workflows, and user experiences rather than simply building larger language models. He argues that the application layer remains wide open, creating opportunities for startups to innovate across healthcare, education, finance, software engineering, and manufacturing. What this means for professionals. The rise of local AI doesn't necessarily mean doctors, lawyers, or architects disappear. Instead, O'Brien expects AI to automate repetitive work while allowing professionals to focus on higher-value decision-making. For example, lawyers may spend less time drafting documents. Doctors could automate administrative tasks while focusing on patient care. Teachers might generate lesson plans instantly while dedicating more time to students. Software engineers could rely on AI agents for routine coding and debugging. Rather than replacing expertise overnight, AI is likely to augment professionals and significantly improve productivity. Subconscious's vision. Founded by former Google engineer Jack O'Brien and his team, Subconscious is building AI infrastructure designed specifically for autonomous agents. Instead of focusing solely on chatbots, the company is developing inference engines that allow AI systems to reason over long contexts, use external tools efficiently, and complete complex tasks with minimal human supervision. The first wave of generative AI was defined by massive cloud models trained using hundreds of thousands of GPUs. The second wave, now unfolding in 2026, is shifting towards something very different: personal AI computing. Instead of asking which company has the biggest model, the industry is increasingly asking which AI can run entirely on your device, which model protects your privacy, which assistant understands you personally, which AI costs almost nothing to operate. This shift mirrors the evolution of personal computing. In the 1970s and early 1980s, businesses relied on centralized mainframes. The arrival of the personal computer decentralized computing power, giving individuals direct control over their own software and data. Many AI researchers now believe a similar transition is beginning for artificial intelligence, where intelligence moves from hyperscale data centers onto billions of consumer devices. The AI arms race is no longer just about bigger models. For 2 years, AI companies competed by announcing larger models with more parameters and increasingly expensive infrastructure. Now the competition is changing. The new benchmark is no longer simply model size, it's efficiency. Today's leading AI labs are investing heavily in model compression, quantization, mixture of experts, architectures, optimized inference, hardware, acceleration, device deployment. These advances allow much smaller models to deliver impressive performance while consuming far less compute, memory, and power. The result is that AI can increasingly run on laptops, workstations, and high-end smartphones instead of requiring constant access to cloud servers. This trend aligns with O'Brien's prediction that personal AI will become mainstream. Why Apple's AI strategy suddenly makes more sense. When Apple introduced Apple Intelligence, many analysts criticized the company for appearing to trail OpenAI and Google. But Apple's long-term strategy has become clearer. Rather than competing solely on the largest cloud model, Apple is investing heavily in hybrid AI, combining on-device processing with privacy-preserving cloud services. Recent regulatory approval for Apple Intelligence in China, powered by Alibaba's Qwen models for that market, highlights Apple's continued focus on bringing AI directly to consumer devices while adapting to regional requirements. If AI increasingly shifts toward local inference, Apple's tight integration of silicon, operating systems, and software could become a significant competitive advantage. Open source is becoming a serious competitive force. The biggest surprise of the past year has been the rapid improvement of open-weight AI models. Projects from companies such as Alibaba, Qwen, Meta, Llama, Mistral, and others have demonstrated that capable AI systems can be shared broadly with developers, enabling rapid customization and deployment. Alibaba's Qwen family, for example, continues to expand with new reasoning and agent-oriented models, illustrating how open-weight ecosystems are accelerating innovation beyond a handful of proprietary platforms. This growing ecosystem means businesses are no longer limited to purchasing AI from one vendor. Instead, they can fine-tune specialized models for finance, healthcare, manufacturing, or customer support while maintaining greater control over costs and data. AI hardware is becoming the new battleground. As AI moves onto personal devices, hardware manufacturers are racing to build processors optimized for local inference. Instead of focusing only on CPU speed, the newest chips emphasize neural processing units, NPUs, AI accelerators, unified memory architecture, high bandwidth memory, low power inference. These capabilities make it possible to run increasingly sophisticated AI models locally while preserving battery life and responsiveness. For consumers, this means the next smartphone or laptop purchase may be determined as much by AI performance as by camera quality or processor speed. Enterprise AI is also changing. Large corporations are beginning to recognize that not every AI workload belongs in the cloud. Organizations handling sensitive intellectual property, financial records, or regulated healthcare data are exploring local or private deployments to improve security, reduce latency, and lower operating costs. Manufacturing companies, financial institutions, and pharmaceutical firms are especially interested in deploying AI close to their operations rather than sending proprietary information to external cloud services. This hybrid approach allows businesses to reserve expensive frontier models for the most demanding tasks while handling routine workflows with efficient local models. AI agents could become the next operating system. Today's AI assistants mainly respond to prompts. Tomorrow's AI agents may proactively execute complex workflows across multiple applications. Imagine asking your AI to research competitors, prepare a presentation, analyze financial reports, schedule meetings, draft emails, generate software code, summarize customer feedback, and then deliver a completed project rather than a single answer. This emerging agentic AI paradigm is becoming one of the industry's most active areas of investment, as developers move beyond chatbots toward autonomous digital coworkers. The economics of AI are changing. Another major trend is the falling cost of inference. As models become more efficient and specialized hardware improves, the cost of running AI continues to decline. This could fundamentally reshape the industry's business model. Instead of paying recurring subscriptions for every AI interaction, users may increasingly purchase devices that include advanced AI capabilities out of the box, with optional cloud services reserved for specialized tasks. That doesn't necessarily mean subscription AI disappears, but it does suggest the market could evolve toward a hybrid model where local intelligence handles everyday work while cloud intelligence supports the most computationally intensive workloads. What this means for OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. Rather than replacing frontier AI companies, on-device AI is likely to redefine their roles. OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are expected to continue leading breakthroughs in scientific reasoning, multimodal intelligence, and advanced research. At the same time, millions of developers may build specialized applications on top of increasingly capable open models, creating a far more diverse AI ecosystem than existed during the first wave of generative AI. The next winners may not simply build the smartest model, they may build the most useful AI experiences, regardless of whether those experiences run in the cloud, on the edge, or entirely in a user's pocket. Final thoughts. Jack O'Brien's predictions challenge one of the AI industry's biggest assumptions, that the future belongs exclusively to massive cloud models. Instead, he envisions a world where users own highly capable AI assistants running directly on their personal devices, offering greater privacy, lower costs, and faster performance. If his forecast proves correct, 2026 may mark the beginning of a new era where AI becomes as personal and ubiquitous as the smartphone itself, while frontier cloud models continue to drive breakthroughs in science and enterprise-scale computing.